Wow. Good evening. I usually start with good evening because we are starting with Amber time. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman. Today is the last program of the month in June, and we want to celebrate two great Ambazonians, two heroes who left us this month. With me on the program today is one of our powerful, very dedicated Iron Lady in the house, Dr. Yaya Fonye. She's going to join me in this conversation as we pay tribute to the Vice President, Mr. Eric Ateh, and also our mother, Iya or Mama Emma Endeley, who were called to the house of the Lord earlier this month. I always like to start the program by saluting our ASA, who constantly defend our territory, our homeland, defending our people and protecting them. I also want to salute our brothers and sisters in neighboring La République du Cameroon, our family members, friends who are refugees in other parts of the world, and Ambazonians at large. Welcome to the Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman. Dr. Yaya, if you're there, I'd like to see your face and welcome you to this program so you can say a word before we proceed. Well, in the meantime, while we wait for Dr. Yaya, the second topic will have to do with something that is important to everybody, general information about healthcare, about health, well-being. We will really focus mostly on health screening for different ages because each and every one of us should live by the principle that your health should be your wealth. I live by that principle. My health is my wealth. And we have to do everything in our power. We like to educate our populations to make sure that they do their best to stay healthy. I'm not sure if I'm having difficulties with with the guests. Dr. Yaya, are you there? Are you connected?
Yes, yes, I am connected.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Welcome to
All
the
right.
Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman.
Thank you so much, Mape. It's always a pleasure being with you. This is more or less our family, so it's good to be here. Greetings to everyone watching our show. Greetings to Ambazonians and well-wishers and freedom fighters, citizens of the world, peace lovers. Greetings to you all, and should I say, accept our condolences to ourselves. If in case you're wondering why we're in black, we are in a state of mourning in Amazonia because we lost two great patriots. However, we know that in a revolution, heroes, patriots will fall on the way, but we have to finish the job. So we're here to talk about this and at the same time encourage ourselves to move forward. Thank you, Mape. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. I think a great place to start this conversation is to listen to a message from the Commander in Chief, the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, because he's speaking to the nation. And some people may have heard this message, others may not have. So let's start with that audio from the President, and then we can proceed and honor these two great heroes who left us this month. If we can hear the videos now, I mean the audios now.
This is the voice of President Sako speaking to you from the cockpit of our struggle. Last weekend, within the space of just 24 hours, we suffered the heartbreaking loss of two great patriots of the Ambazonian struggle of the southern Cameroon's government in exile, both taken from us by natural causes. First, we lost Iya Emma Endeley, the Director General of our Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation, ABC. And soon after, we saw the passing of our beloved Vice President Eric Ateh. These were men or people of unwavering loyalty, steadfast patriotism, and exemplary service to the nation. Their contributions to our cause will forever be etched in the annals of our history. The nation is in deep shock, and as we begin the journey of healing, I hereby declare 3 days of national mourning from Thursday, June the 19th to Saturday, June the 21st, 2025. On Saturday, June the 21st, we shall gather as one people on Zoom to comfort one another and to begin the vital process of re-strategizing for the road ahead. Let us share this invitation widely. Let us lift one another up in this hour of grief. Together, we will honor their memory and renew our commitment to the struggle for which they gave so much. Ambazonia must be free. Thank you, and God bless you and bless our beautiful country.
Well, it is heartbreaking. We have been on this journey for about 80 years now, and it is expected that some of us will be called away by the Lord Almighty as a natural process of living. So it just happened that two giants left back to back. Two dynamic, hardworking, loving individuals left back to back. So let me have Dr. Yaya, because I want to ask her some questions about our great loss as a family, as the Ambazonian family. I want to ask a question, because normally when we hear somebody's gone, we ask that question: where were you? How did you find out? For me, let me start with you. How did you find out, first of all, that my Emma was gone and that the VP was gone? Who broke that terrible news to you?
I know. Let me see. Can I remember really? Yes, I think I can remember. Yeah. Interestingly, Saturday 2 weeks ago, was it Sunday actually? Or the Saturday, we had a meeting, a preparatory meeting to start for the Federal Capital City draft, which is tomorrow, the 28th of June at 8 p.m. Amba time. So we were in the FACO meeting. And at the same time, I think we also had ABC Day, which was going on. And so I had a very, very busy day. So I saw two links and I was thinking, oh, is this the same? Anyway, I joined and I realized I saw Paddy presenting, and that was ABC, of course, on the usual ABC day that we have regularly. Then on the forum, on the Capital Federal City Forum, I also saw Mola Jimmy, the chair, saying we should join the meeting. So I left one and I joined the other. I realized there were two meetings. And of course, in a FACO planning meeting, we know that the German says Stammgast, meaning your regular furniture is Ma'ema. Ma'ema is, first of all, everywhere, all the time, just like the VP, always encouraging. And so she wasn't in that meeting, which was a bit unusual. However, the chair did mention her. We did talk about her. And he just said, oh, she's not feeling very well. And that's the reason she couldn't be here. So Next day, I had a call from the speaker, and I just came back. I was on call. I came back very tired, and she said, "I've got bad news." And I was quiet, and I said, "Tell me." And she said, "I want to call somebody else." And I think she tried calling you to add to the call. I'm like, "But what is it? Tell me." While you're trying to call the others, she said, "Wait, hold yourself." And I don't know whether to say, of course, my head went to someone else. Yeah, and she broke the news, and I just couldn't, believe it, because yes, we know what we know, but it wasn't expected that it will happen so fast. So, and there went all the screams, and it was a shocker. It was a shocker, really, because like we've heard from most comrades, they were communicating with her even till the morning. I think Ma Ben even wrote to her the day she had passed. I wrote to her the day, I think 2 days before, forwarding something to her about some health tips and all of that. Oh Lord, yeah. So that was a big shock. But this is what we should know, especially being in the field of medicine. Every day, even within healthy populations, you have people who just die suddenly in their thousands every day. Every day. There's some statistics. I hope I'm not exaggerating, but it's quite a good number. So death is inevitable. And whether we're in the struggle or out of the struggle, the most certain thing to every being that was born is that there is a time to die. So for people who take this to be a sign of something or a negative sign, they're just being short-sighted and simply ignorant and just insensitive, because people are dying everywhere in the United States, in the most peaceful countries, even in La Republique, who is molesting us. People are dying every day. So Ambazonia is not an exception, and this should not be seen as any ill omen that our cause is not just. It has nothing to do with that. Even those who fought for freedom, many of them died before that freedom came. We can list many of them. I don't know if Martin Luther King saw the dream. Yeah, he made the speech. Did he? Or he just made free at last, free at last. I'm not sure. So, hey, this is life. This just tells us that we are humans. It reminds us of our humanity. We were born without any choice, and God, our creator, would decide the day he wants to take us back. And no man, we repeat again, no man claims credit for this, because who are you? You're a mere mortal like them. Today we talk about them, tomorrow it will be us that we'll be talking about, it will be you. So if anyone is celebrating and thinking this is something to jubilate over, I first of all say you're heartless, and it's just so inhumane and unimaginable. In as much as we have our differences in the struggle, I don't think people should wish death on another person because you simply think differently. That just tells us about, how mean or sick some people may be. But anyway, Amazonia celebrates these two giants, and they shall always remain, like our president said, in the annals of our history. We are a government still in exile, but one day we shall gain our land, and monuments, hopefully, shall be hoisted in honor of such great giants. So, Mape, let me not overdo it.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yaya. I had traveled to London for some work, and when the person who was hosting us had prepared dinner, so we were on the dining table, and I got a call from the speaker, and she said, "Oh, I know you just arrived, but I have bad news." And as soon as I heard the phrase "bad news," My mind went somewhere else, just like you. And then when I heard the pronouncement of the bad news, I jumped off the table and I screamed. And I guess my guests and my husband were sitting and they were wondering what was going on, because that's how I found out that my Emma was gone. And I couldn't believe it. I said, it was just a shock, because before I went to London, I spoke with her the Thursday. So this happened on Sunday. I spoke with her the Thursday before. I knew that she was not feeling well. And I said, when I come back from my trip, I will come visit with you. She said, yes, see you when you come back, have a good time. That was my last conversation with her. So this tells you that life is so unpredictable. You know, when you make plans, you're just making plans because it's good to make plans, but God is the final decider of anything that happens to any of us. You mentioned something that some people that may be happy that we've lost giants. Well, the thing is that death is an equalizer. All of us, every one of us, whether you are the president of a country somewhere, or you are a thief somewhere in the bush, or you are a child, an infant, I mean, death comes to everybody. That's an equalizer. But with that said, I want to finish with my Emma. Then we'll talk about the vice president. My Emma, I just want to share some of our strengths. I mean, let me have you talk about some of our strengths, because this lady, uh, she was in her 70s and brought so much to this journey. I met her only because of Ambazonia. We met in 2019, and I think that's when she became a force in this journey. And she connected to other people, and I was really amazed with how much dedicated. She always shared that, you know what, Mape, I didn't even know that this had been going on. I didn't know all this history about Ambazonia in terms of the politics and all everything. But she came in very, very committed to learn, very, very committed to put in money, which she will talk about, finances. And she was a regular member. When we started the Horizon, the Voice of the Amber Woman, she was a guest on the program several times. And you know that she lived in the days of West Cameroon. So she experienced what good governance was like and is supposed to be. Those are people that understand why some of us are in this. Because when you ask a question, why in a group of, if you go to a gathering on occasion and you count, for every 10 people, you may find only one ardent Ambazonia. Why is that? When all those other people believe that the Cameroon is a place that is really falling apart, a place where there's so much corruption, there's no future for the people, for the young, for the youth. And but then you'll see only one or two dedicated people trying to engage to free Southern Cameroons. Let me not talk too much. Dr. Yaya, I just want to ask you to tell us what you saw in this giant, in this lady that has left us.
Wow. My Emma, starting with my Emma, she's just very large. She's so broad. I don't know if I can really capture her in a few words. The first thing, or one thing I really like about her is her childlike nature. My Emma, there's a child in her. She's so playful. And I used to have fun with her. I'll call her sometimes. I mean, I don't know what to say about my Emma. She's just somebody. That's why everybody feels so special. Everybody feels like she was best loved by my Emma because she had so much love to give out. She's somebody who had a sense of focus and was so passionate and would pursue something with all her heart forcefully, but yet with this soft nature of a mother, you know.
Mhm.
And that playful nature I very much liked. I had silly jokes with her, you know. There are times, you know, she'll say, "Oh, that dressing, I like it when you dress, but that's a little bit too much, Dr. Yaya. You're showing so much legs." You know, that's how far we could joke. You know, I'll call her on the phone and she say, "Hey, now." I'm like, "Ma, why are you acting like this?" So sometimes I call her my gangster Amba Mami. Oh my God, because she was a true Amber warrioress. And I'm sure you have given her background, and that tells you that it is not the longevity in this struggle that really matters. It is the commitment that you give, because this is somebody who gave 200%. I'm sitting here, it's just that I'm not even prepared. I still have the wrappers that
Mhm.
I still have them in my car.
Mhm.
It's not long ago, you know, a month ago, we met together at one of our comrades, Pasumi's birthday, 60th birthday, and we shared the cups that Ma Emma sent. Ma Payo were at your place. She
Yes.
drove all the way with an elderly lady she called
Mhm.
an ancestor, you know,
Mhm.
came, cooked. In fact, Ma Emma is just an embodiment of love, humility, meekness, yet with an inner strength that doesn't come out with force, but with love and gentleness. But she never mixed her words too. When it came to serious things, she would say
Mhm.
them, but with this gentle tone. So, we've truly lost a matriarch.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of her, she's passionate. I know
Mhm.
how much she dreamt about, you know, a trip to Jamaica. God, sometimes, and I just ask myself, I'm like, why didn't you just let her do that trip? She really told me, I'm looking forward to celebrating my sister's birthday, and also talking about her vision for ABC, how creative she was, how fast she went, you know, with projects. I don't know, you know, the projects that were lined up. We're also excited. We're looking forward to these shows, and they should not die. You know, the body may have left, but her legacy did not leave. That is what we should live on. That's what we should tap energy from, and we should pledge our allegiance once again to the cause, and promising that this is a woman whose unfinished business we must complete. Mape,
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I am
As yeah, yes.
now.
You know, there's something about my Emma that some people may not know. I went to her 70th birthday party, and my Emma loves to dance.
Yep.
My Emma loves to dance. I mean, you see her on that floor, and she had a cane that day because she had some problem. But she was dancing as if the world was coming to an end. It was just unbelievable. I always picture her. You know, I had the video of it. I could not find it. I wish I could find the video of her dancing
Oh,
and share. I couldn't find that video.
I can share some with you
Yeah,
straight
she
away.
loves. Um, and you know, she lives. What, you have something?
Oh, sorry, it's something that just came to mind. You know,
Okay,
when you finish, just another quality of hers.
okay.
Um, you go
Let me
ahead. You
finish.
finish.
So she lives almost 2 hours from where I live, and she spent a couple of nights in my house here because sometimes she has to go to travel out of town. So to catch the flight, she may spend a night and then get off the next morning. So the day that you came, she drove all the way with that mama that she came, and sat down and was able to peel those cocoyams, grate them, and make us delicious ekwang. I mean, this is the love of a mother, of a sister, and she she pours so much love in what she does. And I imagine, I said, would I like to drive that far? Because it's not easy driving in this California. It's just a task, but she does it with grace. And I sometimes I say, when I get to be her age, am I going to be able to do all those things? I ask myself because it's just a passion in her. I just pray that I'm able to, if God gives me life, because we just said on this program, nobody knows tomorrow. You could be as healthy as what God wants to call you, God will call you. But we just pray that we live long enough to see Boya, because when we go to Boya, we'll be celebrating this wonderful matriarch that left us. But go ahead, you were going to share something else.
I'm probably just lost for words. My Emma is so full of love. It's not just cooking. I remember when I said I'm coming, and she asked me, "What can I make for you?" You know, did I? I don't know whether I actually made this request, but anyway, she's just someone who is full of love and just loves to live. My Emma never cared whether you were this age group. She would be friends even with a baby. I'm sure we saw how she related with her granddaughter, and she would relate with everyone and make you feel special because she was just a loving person, just so full of love, full of grace. I know sometimes when I would cry on her shoulder when I had maybe some issues or disagreements with one of and some of our comrades. Ma always had a comforting word for me. She'll say, "No worry. You know me. I can be hyped up. I'll talk. She's like, "No worry now your person. It's going to be well." So she was truly a mother. She was reassuring. Even there were times I'll call and I'll be like, "Ma, no, it's not like this. We should do this." And she's always a good listener. And I've never heard her really get upset as such. She can be serious and say her mind, but suggestions, she took them very kindly and was always there to encourage every meeting. I'm even thinking how long ago, whether it's APP, it doesn't only have to be a meeting that concerns her department. And that's why we call them really true patriots, because some people say, no, this is my job. This is my job. My Emma was always there, whether it is which meeting, whether it's for Bui or for Fako or whatever. If she's not working, she's always there to cheer up the place. And even after the meeting, I remember one of the last meetings that she attended, she was actually teasing and telling Dr. Kejang not to shut the Zoom just because she wants to chat with people. So we know that that was farewell. I can just say we're blessed to have had somebody that dedicated, that sacrificial in her way of service, putting her all, her mind, her soul, and her money into projects just to make sure that Ambazonia is free. Just to give a little snippet of mass kindness. There are still things that we're carrying, like even the headgear that we wore on October 1 and we did the competition. Emma posted that thing from the US to me and paid an extra $100 or $150. We've not even sent back the money to her. And this is a woman who never chased you to say, oh, please send this, I invested this or that. I still have those wrappers in my car, and I pray God that we shall use them. Those will be antiques. Those wrappers will be in honor of Ma Emma Endeley, and we will be auctioning them. We will not be selling them anymore because this woman put all her thoughts, her mind, her creativity with her team, of course, Paddy and their team to see this happen. I want to also use this opportunity to plead with some people, some comrades who still have some wrappers. We have your names on records. Of course, it's not to call you out, but please, at least with the passing of Ma Emma, be moved to pay for that wrapper. She flew to Nigeria, yes, to do all of these prints and carry them, transported them here. Please honor the sacrifices of this woman. If you're sitting still on an amber wrapper and you know you haven't paid, don't let us chase you. Please give money so that we can use it to support ABC. ABC has to continue functioning. So I'm a bit out of, I deviated a little bit. Ma Emma is just, when we met again, Mape, recently, just 7 weeks at your place, and Ma Emma was talking, giving those cups, for me to bring to Europe and so on. I asked Ma, I said, Ma, why are you giving this as a gift? Why don't we sell them, given that ABC needs money? Do you know? I don't know if you remember. You heard. She said no. It's a gift from us. It is a gift
Yeah.
from the ABC. She really insisted. And when I also
Yes.
tried to push, she said, if you have to do that, that will be at your own volition. This is a gift from us. In hindsight, I'm thinking, was Ma just living her prince? Was she just saying goodbye?
You know,
Yeah.
that she traveled to Washington D.C. twice. She went
Yeah.
for October 1st, and then she went again when the president called the special assembly meeting for stakeholders. Was that in November? So she traveled twice in the same year. This shows dedication. This shows dedication because it's not easy. I keep on saying that at a certain age, it's difficult to do things, but Ma Emma will not let age hinder her. She was passionate to a core, and we will forever miss her. Let's talk about some of the great things that she has done. When Chris Arnold left, ABC was in shambles. The president was wise and saw in Ma Emma someone who can bring some directness, some visionary improvement to ABC, and Ma Emma came along and did just that. Under her directorship, we have a better board of ABC, Amba TV 24 hours. With her insight, you have a very, very powerful patrons, ABC Amba patrons that have helped to keep ABC Amba afloat. And these are things that she did. Talking about the rapper, you already mentioned that a lot of the funding for the rapper came from Ma Emma. So we as a government, we as a people, we still owe this lady. We owe her. And the best way, even if we are not giving her a financial payback, the best way to honor her is for each and every one of us to tighten our belts and be more focused on this journey so that we get to Boya sooner than later. We will get to Boya eventually. We will get to Boya, but we want to do this sooner than later. Things are changing all over the world. Things are changing in neighboring La Republic. Change is constant. So eventually people will realize that this woman was fighting for a better future for our children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, not necessarily for us, but for future generations. Dr. Yaya, anything you want to say before we move over to the vice president?
About I think you summarized it so beautifully. We will keep on talking about these two giants. Sometimes you just have a little blur because it's like, well, because these are people somehow within a week or two, at least you get a call from them or would talk with them. So it feels a bit lonely, but like you said, we've got one another and we've got what they believed in to pursue till its end. And we know that their spirit is always going to accompany us. So just talking about the trip she made to DC, that again tells you about how sacrificial she is. One, she wasn't even in very good health at the time.
Exactly.
Even with the cane, can you imagine flying across? This is a whole 5 hours trip thereabouts. And that's not just all the time at the airport and things. My Emma indeed had a young spirit, and she died a young spirit. Because if you look at the way she danced, the way she lived, she didn't think about her body. She thought it was the spirit. She just lived. She was a free spirit and a true Nyango, from Boya. So who never believed in age. To me, she never aged. This cage, what we have, this casing around, yes, can get tired. But that person, when I am with my I feel like I'm with my friend, my child, my age mate, you know. So that beauty of sacrificing for others, she came twice. It's not that she doesn't have places to go. She could have said, I did it once, but this tells you how much what Ambazonia meant to these people. I said in my own little tribute that they first lived for Ambazonia and then anything else. It may sound, because you say a 70-something-year-old traveling twice within 2 months to the same place. She could have said, oh, I've done it once. And hey, that was a blessing for us because we had the opportunity to meet her face to face. Look at us hugging around her as if we knew that this was it, my Emma. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We miss you. We miss you. Anywhere she was, it was smiles, it was laughter, and it was unity. She had that reunifying force around her. Oh my goodness. That's the headgear. She sent four
Yes.
pieces to Europe and paid $100 and something, which we haven't paid back yet. But ABC, rest assured, we will. Oh ma. Nyango Bwam. Wow. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Um, let's talk about the VP. If those who are listening, I think we have a phone, a line. If anybody wants to call and say a word or two, if we can have that telephone number showing, so that anybody wants to call, that's fine. After we listen, talk about the vice president. So there's a WhatsApp number if you want to. That number seems wrong though. 31039. I think that number is wrong. Maybe I made a
Oh.
mistake.
Which
It's
of the numbers?
9365. It's
Okay, hold on.
9365. So let me have him correct it. Sorry about that.
Is it your other number
Yes.
or the other number?
No, I've sent
Okay.
the correct number so that we can change it. All right. So
Okay.
let's talk about the vice president. Now, ask the same question. Where how did you find out that the vice president was no more? How did you find out?
So when the shock of my Emma we were still taken aback. We were still struggling to sink it all in. Yes, of course, I knew that she wasn't well. But again, this is somebody I met 6 weeks before, 7 weeks, and she didn't look like she was very sick. She actually looked much better than she was in DC the previous year, or 8 months before. So it was quite unexpected, even though we knew of the health challenges that were only recently known to her or to us. Yeah, so when that shock came of her, of course, you wouldn't say, oh, I'm thinking it should be this person. One is God to determine, who's going to die when. Even whether you're sick or you're not sick, death can meet me anytime. So after that scream, the next day, we all stayed up till like 5 a.m. I didn't really get enough sleep, just talking and trying to get our heads around the fact that Maya must know more. And then, of course, Mape calls. I was sleeping because I was doing night shift.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting how these calls came in. That when Mape called, I said, let me just pick the call. Because normally I would have said, let me sleep because I'll wake up and call her. I picked, there was that that silence that was very suspicious. And she said, "I've got bad news." I'm like, okay. They like saying Nanjangi now. I just stay quiet. Yeah, because I was already sucked of all the energy from Ma Emma. I spoke with Prof. Epote after Ma Emma passed, and I told her something, an experience that I had. Of course, when we're told that someone is sick of a chronic illness, the thought of death may happen anytime is more prevalent than in someone who is just not sick. So that thought probably has gone through all of our minds. But I told her that I just had, this kind of a flash where I was daydreaming, and I, saw myself preparing to wear black. I'm actually trying to choose the outfit. And she said, no, we say no more deaths. And we actually prayed, and we said, no, stop to this. And behold, Mape calls and says, there's bad news. So I immediately knew. And it was just silence. Sadness at the same time, but missing him, like the person and what he meant for Ambazonia. But on the other hand, also thankful to God that he can have some rest, because he really fought.
Yes, So for me, the VP, I found out online in our Santa Executive Forum. So I just got a message there that, we have bad news, and was a message sent by the current chairman, Dr. Mopecha. And when I read that message, I said, wow, back to back, because for the VP, I would be honest that since I knew that his health wasn't the best, he's been very sick for a while now. I would say that when Ma Emma had mentioned that we have bad news, I immediately thought I was a VP. That's what came to my mind.
Ma Winnie.
I mean, Ma Winnie. Sorry, Ma Winnie. Oh boy, when Ma Winnie said that, I thought it was a VP. And so when we heard that the VP was gone, I said, "Oh, they are traveling in a pair, so I guess they're going together to go intercede for us, to go make sure that God gives us our land." The VP. Let's talk about the VP. Dr. Yaya, ask you as a chief of staff, I'd like you to be the one to talk about this, his journey. What do you know, his journey from in Ambazonia, because he's held quite a few positions before becoming the vice president. Can you share with us all those positions, and then let's talk about the strength that he brought, because he contributed a lot. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Yaya.
Wow, Mr. Vice President. Oh, so I knew the Vice President, I believe 2017, when I moved to Germany. 2017 thereabouts, 2017, 2018. At the time, he was the press secretary for the president. And from what I gathered, before, he was like their local chapter leader. You know how at the time we had country coordinators, we had regional coordinators, and we just had people, leading the struggle in the different parts of the world. So he was that main person for Minnesota before he became the press secretary, I want to believe. Well, that's when I knew him. He reached out to me and asked me to be his what was that? Was that secretary or chief of staff, something like that, And that's how we started working together. He was press secretary at the time with his thunderous voice, and then from that position, he moved to director. He was appointed a director of cabinet, where he didn't only just work within his terms of reference. he was just there. He was that servant for Ambazonian. He was the, you know how we call the man, the boy who works with the fund, who makes sure that the fund is safe, and is actually the fortress of the fund. But he looks quite simple. The Chinda. That's really how I can really describe Mr. Ateh in a nutshell, because he's large. He is really large. We'll have to go into details. And so he served this government, he served the president with all his heart. At the time when he was the director of cabinet, he made sure he oversaw that, everything went right. Was it the draft? At the time, the president came up with the project, Ground Zero Connect, exactly, where we would have, town halls with home front and have an exchange. Those were the good days where Eric, I call him Eric, of course, sorry, the vice president would really make sure, say, Yaya, we need to get this hall full. And he would do everything, make sure that the Zoom is ready, make audios, reach out to people, ask them to do audios. He was just a mobilizer. He was the guy who was a caretaker of the struggle, made sure that things worked. So wherever there was a loophole, he will fill it. He's not going to fill it in only, through himself, but he knew how to handpick, qualities in people and put them together. He knew, he could actually read personalities and knew who to fit in which peg. So in that sense, he understood people management, and boy, he was a no nonsense. He was a fierce fighter. He never reached out for failure. If he wants to do something, he'll do it full force. And I remember those days, the president used to go around visiting the counties. Our vice president at the time, the director of cabinet, was always there to accompany the president, And then when we started having issues in the struggle, like you expect to have wherever you have human beings, and the first set of coup plotters broke away, the president had to appoint a vice president. It's interesting because he sought some, people's opinion about what they thought or who they thought would be the rightful person. And
I remember
this vice president, his candidates were all women. Actually, Mape, you were his first candidate. I was one of them. I think Rachel, he so much believed in women, which is just great. And much to what I say a surprise, but positively a positive surprise, the president chose his vice president, and he never regretted. As forceful and as fierce as he was, he complimented the president so nicely without being overpowering or overbearing. He always reminded me, sometimes I would be frustrated and trying to get some information, and maybe I'll say, I couldn't get to the president, and I try to ask him to do some things. He'll say, hey, he can call me, he calls me Yaya anyway, because I'm a friend and a sister at the same time. He say, Yaya, I am the vice president. I'm the president's shadow. I don't have to be here unless the president asks me to. He's told me that so many times, and he was a friend at the same time. And I just have his Mape. We can talk about the VP. I don't know where to start, where to stop. The last voice of the VP that I heard is what I want to keep in me. He was the best I've heard for the longest time. He got me up at about 2:30 in the night, and as God would have it, that was just like I would at least put my phone on what do you call vibration, but that phone, somehow I left it on and it rang loud, and I'd just been in bed for about an hour and a half, and I thought, oh God, I have to wake up in like 3 hours. Should I take this call? And something just said, oh, this VP, take that call. And behold, that was my last live call with this gentleman. And he spoke with he was so full of life. He was so optimistic. He was so grateful. He was so everything. He was so upbeat. Of course, I know of the diagnosis and the prognosis. But when I listened to this voice, I said, I actually thank God. I said, Papa God, you have done it. This man has bounced back. So even though we knew about the diagnosis and that he had probably outlived, his uh, medical prognosis, so to say, wow, this guy was strong. He was powerful. He fought really hard, and because of the kind of personality that he had, I think he outlived, what he was told. And so I just want to say thank you, VP. Thank you. Um,
Yeah, let me say a little bit about him. I first knew the VP more as a member of our Santa LGA, and I used to ponder, wow, this guy has a unique voice. I mean, it reminds me of somebody in the States that's called Earl Jones. Earl Jones. He has this voice that is so powerful, projects, and he has a lot of common sense, because things will come up and you have debates on how to resolve problems in those days in our LGA, and he always came up with a sensible solution. And as time went on, when he became, I didn't really connect with him that much when he was press secretary. When he became director of cabinet, we had a closer relationship. We used to have conversations and just talk about the projection of our journey, of our struggle. I have some few pictures of him. If we can have them on the screen later on to just share. Hopefully they are getting them ready to just share how this was a man of the people. He was friends with everybody. Those who chose to alienate him for one reason or the other have their reasons, which we cannot go into. But the president made a great choice in his selection because he's articulate uh, and you know has some great strategic um, made some great strategic advice, gave some great strategic advice to the president. There's certain things that were accomplished because of his input that we need not really go into detailing. But you know, he always told me that my pay, even if I go any moment, I know that my heart and soul has always been with Ambazonia, and if God decides to call me anytime, I'm ready to go. And but that we should never give up. And one of his audios that he made thanking some of us, he said that if we were to give up, our people will be slaughtered, because he understands that as far as La Republique is concerned, we are nothing. We are cockroaches, roaches. What do you do with things like cockroaches or roaches? You smash them. And so the vice president, in all his wisdom, uh, really made us understand that this journey is one that you cannot fall along the wayside. Um, and when we are right here paying tribute to them, it's because we want people to understand that um, we cannot have their passing be in vain. Although they died of natural causes, but they have worked hard for this journey for us to get to where we are going. And if we can see some of those pictures of the VP, I know that they were sent in late. There he is. Um, my goodness. Lord help us. This was his second meeting that I was surprised that he came. He was sick and he came. You know, I was shocked that he was there. Um, share the other pictures if you have them. Lord help us. That's the other one with some of our stakeholders. Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. He's really living in God's bosom. Um, this is the other one, the stakeholders in Washington, D.C. And there he is. Uh, my Emma is also in this picture. The two of them are right there. It just occurred to me that I didn't realize that my Emma was in this one too. Yep. Uh, yeah, this will be framed and put in the on the wall somewhere when we get to Boya. Thank you, thank you for sharing this. Um, there were some other, since we're ending this topic now, before we move to the topic on health matters. Um, if you could put the other picture that I sent of my Emma too, I sent it late, but it was a picture that was very important that she came for October 1st. That was the October 1st, 2023, because last year was 2024. So October 2023, we had it in Los Angeles, and she came to our church. And so there's a picture of us together. I'd like to have that shown also. But in the meantime, Dr. Yaya, I want to end this segment. This just came to my mind. I will do it, but I need you to think of something that I want you to think of a song that you like to sing. I want to think about my own song. I want to sing right now. Think of a song that you like to sing as we end this section of paying tribute to these two great people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Can
God.
I play? Can I
I'm
play
sorry.
from WhatsApp? Can I play it from YouTube?
Well, you want to play it? Yeah, I wanted to hear your voice, so that's what it is.
I think the thing is the lyrics. Okay, I can just do the lyrics. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
Let me see. Okay.
ah, I can't even find it.
I
I
just
just
remember
want this.
when the BB dashed into that hall and everyone was like, "Wow, you made it!"
Well, exactly. So how did he make it here?
Oh my God, he was so proud of himself that he could cross his legs. It was simple
Yeah.
things like that. Uh, we had a great time. It was funny, but it was just nice. Uh, so, do you want me
All
to?
right. Yeah. While you are getting yours, I'm going to sing first, and then you can crown it with your beautiful voice because you have an angelic voice. So I'm going to sing,
Uh,
and then you sing, and then we'll go to the next topic. Okay. Bear
okay.
with me. I just this is a song to say farewell to our heroes. Okay. Here we go. There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. We shall sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the blessed, and our spirits shall sorrow no more. Not a sigh for the blessing of rest in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore. in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore. Go ahead, you take over.
That was beautiful, Mappy. Thank you. I don't know if I'm going to sing, be able to. So the title of the song, permit me, is Through the Love of God, our Savior, all will be well. And I'll just read the last line of the last verse in case I'm not able to sing. Or in living, or in dying, all must be well. Okay, I will try. Through the love of God our Savior, all will be well. Free and changeless is His favor, all is well. Precious is the blood that healed us, perfect is the grace that sealed us, strong the hand stretched forth to shield us, all must be well. Though we pass through tribulation, all will be well. Ambazonian, I say this again. Though we pass through tribulation, all will be well. Ours is such a full salvation, all is well. Happy still in God confiding, fruitful if in Christ abiding, steadfast through the Spirit's guiding, all must be well. We expect a bright tomorrow, all will be well. Faith can sing through days of sorrow, all is well. On our farthest love relying, Jesus every need supplying, or in living, or in dying, all must be well. It is well.
It is well indeed. It is well.
Amen.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Yaya. Thank you so much. Thank you, fellow viewers, listeners. It is well. Okay, let's move on to the second segment. We'll be just brief on this topic. We're talking about health screening, healthcare. And Dr. Yeah, I'm just going to ask you general questions. The number is on the screen if anybody wants to call to ask questions about health issues. Whenever we come on the horizon, whenever I have you as a guest, I like to ask because we want to educate our people. So in general, let's talk about health screening. Start with health screening that are a must for women at different ages. I'd like you to just go through that. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mape. So again, when we lose close ones, we are all sad and we think about, our own, when it's going to be our turn. But soon after, we quickly forget. So we're going to try to keep up with this health awareness and, to do our best to play our part and then leave the rest to God. So first of all, I'll just start with general, health screening for that, for everybody, for males and females. I would advise, and now talking to the diaspora for those of us who are out here, and even for those on the home front, if you have the opportunity, make sure you see your doctor, not because you're sick, because you want to get checked. It may be tricky back home, but if you can, just do it. Check your blood pressure, do some blood works. So for those, this is mainly directed to those of us in the diaspora who have all the facilities or at least have access to better health care than those of our comrades back home. So please, at least every 6 months, go for a general checkup. At least every 1 year, 12 months. And if you already have a known condition, then you have to talk to your doctor and establish how frequently you need to come for checks. So what we're saying here is just very generic. Everybody's history is particularly specific for them. For some people, they need to see the doctor more often. So for a general healthy person, at least do a screening test whereby you go to your doctor and just get some basic tests done, like your blood pressure, and then they take bloods to check your kidney function, your liver function, your thyroid function, to check for cholesterol, check whether you have diabetes, and, just those general screening. And I just want to add one thing, now as we are advancing in age, some illnesses become more prominent as we age. So in the age group of above 40, above 50, I'll say particularly, we even need to do these checks like every 6 months. I just did my checkup yesterday, my blood workup, and I'm quite pleased to know that after taking some interventions, I could see some changes, some difference. I would just say it. I mean, I'm borderline diabetic and also had high lipids or high cholesterol or high fats. So I took upon myself, and especially being encouraged by people like Mape, who goes on a walk every day without excuse. I mean, without excuse, whether there's sun, there's rain, whether she has work, this woman gets up and jumps out after her prayers, takes a cup of warm tea and lemon, and off she goes walking. Mape, kudos. You have been a source of encouragement to me. And I've been doing it because I wanted to just test myself and see what lifestyle changes really means. We read these things, we say them to patients, but I'm telling my own personal story. I could see that difference. My cholesterol levels were definitely much better. They haven't gone to normal yet, but I'm really pleased that, by just this health lifestyle changes, I could see some differences. So for everybody, please make sure you go to a doctor and just say, I want to get checked. And if you have a predominance of a certain disease in your family, if diabetes is common, high blood pressure is common, or cancers or whatever, please tell your doctor and say, I have a first degree relative, my sister, my brother, or my father, mother had this or that, or died of this or that. I am worried. I need to get checked. I need to tell you people that I am in the field inside. There's a lot of pressure to make money. So sometimes things wouldn't go as you expect. Don't think that your doctor is going to do all the thinking for you. You have to be proactive. And I want to tell us, especially being minorities wherever we are, or being migrants, we are a disadvantaged subpopulation. You have to be forceful. You have to be proactive. You need to tell your doctor when he says everything is fine. No, ask questions. Say, Doc, what do you mean? Everything is fine. How is my kidney function? How is my thyroid? How is my liver? And I also want to press on this. I know we don't have so much time. Please, anyone who is above 40 or 50, or, when you see a doctor for your health check, please make sure he or she does an abdominal ultrasound of the abdomen. Say an ultrasound of your belly, if I can put it that way, that just adds, and gives a little bit more information on a few diseases that don't always show up, with some sharp symptoms that, like a heart attack, if I feel like an elephant is sitting on my heart, definitely on my chest, that would force me to go and see a doctor. But if I just feel like, oh, I feel bloated, oh, my stool is, I find it hard to stool, those are very general, non-specific symptoms, which may mean nothing. It could just be constipation, but it may also be a sign of something, So don't just say, no, I'm bloated. It is this food that I ate. When you see your doctor, please insist that they do an ultrasound, because it can pick up a few things. It can pick up, masses. It can pick up fluid. It can give an idea about the state of your liver and all the intra-abdominal organs. And that combined with the blood test, that gives a picture of what your different organs in the body are doing. That at least helps. We're not saying that when you do all of this, you'll be free of disease, but at least if there's something, it can be picked up early, and hopefully it can be treated. Mape, did you want to say something? I haven't really answered your question. No, that was just an intro. So now,
no, that's good. Just continue. Yes, since we don't have much time, I just wanted to, yeah.
Exactly. So please check your blood pressure, check for diabetes, check your kidney function, check your thyroid function, and you should do this at least once a year. And if there's already a problem, say you're diabetic, or you have a high lipids or high fats, then you have to check that at least more frequently, like once in 6 months. Insist, and please, one thing that also has been a talk in the migrant community, particularly here in Europe, is that we don't seek medical care. And for reasons well understood. People are overwhelmed with just surviving and being able to live as a legal citizen. There's so much that comes with it, so much stress. Mentally, people are financially limited. And also the language barrier is another thing that makes people, especially men, shy to go to the doctor and start struggling in a foreign language. Please don't restrict yourself. We have, what do you call it? Flüchtlinge, I'm saying in German, refugees from different parts of the world, and they have full medical access. We do look for translators who translate for these patients. So don't stay back and say, I cannot speak Italian or Russian or German or whatever, or Spanish, and you don't go to hospital and your health is actually failing. Please, it is your right, even as a refugee, to seek medical help. Do not restrict yourself, and make sure you are proactive, you're forceful. A lot of times, some people, there's a lot of bias everywhere, and in medicine too. People might say, oh, those refugees, they come and use up on money and so on. Don't fall for that. Fight for your health. And I use the word fight. When you go, don't just accept what they tell you. Ask specific questions and ask for your results. Always ask them to print your result to give you, so that you can share with someone in the family who is in the field, or you can share with any of us that you know, in case they didn't have time to explain a few things to you. Now, this is just general health screening, as in medical issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, risk for heart problems and strokes, and thyroid problems. You can pick up those things really just from blood tests, and with lifestyle changes, there's a lot you can do to reduce the risk of having these diseases. But I'm not saying that it is completely reduced to zero, because there are other factors that come in play. Life itself throws things at people when it's not always deserving. And secondly, genetics plays a role, and then your environment and all the other factors. So now coming to the other screening. So we've just done general internal medical kind of screening, checking the different organs and the common diseases, chronic illnesses, again, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity. Those are chronic problems. And these problems, because they don't cause pain, are neglected. Please do not neglect these things, because they are already doing the pain in your system. They are deforming, they are destroying your blood vessels, your nerve vessels. And after 10 years of being a diabetic, even though you don't feel pain or anything, you start to see the micro, as we call it, and macro complications. The complications of diabetes would be kidney failure, heart attack, strokes, So it is deadly. It is slow, but it is deadly in the long run. And another thing I forgot to say, in the routine screening, please insist that your doctor does a urine test. So after doing all these blood tests of the different systems, and then concluding it with an ultrasound of the abdomen and a urine test, that will give you pretty much a big picture of what your systems are doing. So insist you must not have a urinary tract infection before you have that done. So just ask your doctor, doc, is it, could you just check my urine, especially for diabetics and people with high blood pressure, because these illnesses, they actually damage the kidneys, the part that does the filtering, and you tend to lose a lot of protein. That is a sign of the progression of the disease, and it can be not that it can, it is a predictor of how quickly you can get into kidney failure. And these things can be modified. Well, the progression can be modified through some medication. So please make this a routine. Blood test, ultrasound of the abdomen, and if you have any problem with, or you notice that there's a swelling on your throat, or there's some pressing, or your voice is getting husky, which is not normal, they need to do an ultrasound of the thyroid gland as well. Now, coming to cancer screening. Generally, cancer is a disease of the aging. And of course, you have some cancers that are predominant in children, and we're just talking general. It comes, more age is one of the risk factors, and of course, we all want to live long, so there's the chance that we may have cancer is high. However, that's a topic for another day. Just talking about screening for cancer. There are some cancers that have really, there's a lot of research that has gone into it, and the screening program is very well propagated. We'll start with females, as Mape mentioned. We know of the breast cancer screening, and the month of October is dedicated for this awareness. Please, we have talked about this on this show before. Females, do know your breast, know yourself, and do your breast check. You know, the details we can find out on even YouTube. But make sure you do your self breast examination so that you know exactly what your normal breast is and what it looks like when it is different. We won't go into the details. We've talked about that before. The other cancer that women can also do a screening is the cervical cancer, whereby the screening test is the pap smear, and that is recommended that every 2 years you see your gynecologist. Actually, when you see your gynecologist, these things should be discussed. You know, for women above 50, they should have a mammogram of the breast. And again, depending on your risk factors, if you have first-degree relatives who have suffered cancer, then that can come at any age. It can come even before 50. So cervical cancer, they do a pap smear, and it can already show precancerous cells, and that can be caught at an early stage and treated, you know, by maybe coning the neck of the womb and taking it out before it becomes malignant. Unfortunately, there are some cancers that are just nasty. Cancers like ovarian cancer and pancreatic cancer. They don't really, it's hard. There's no real screening for it. And their symptoms are very subtle and can mimic anything. You know, and that is why they have a very poor prognosis, because by the time people are diagnosed with these cancers, it's already too late. You know, by the time they discover that they have bloating or they have fluid in their stomach or their abdominal cavity, the cancer most often has spread. Ovarian cancer is one of them. You know, spreads on the, you know, the what do you call momentum? I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, let's just say the lining of the abdomen, that, you know, and people already most often have buildup of fluid in their stomach, which is why I'm insisting now on this ultrasound. Please make sure your doctor does that for anyone above 40 to 50 when you're doing your yearly checks. So those are the cancers specific for females. Then now for males, prostate cancer, of course, is number one. It is one of the cancers, if one were to choose, you could say that's a cancer to choose, because most often people don't really die of the cancer, they die with it. Having said that, we also have subtypes which are aggressive, but generally the screening is very, very good. And men above 40, please make sure you see your doctor and ask to be checked. And the check for prostate cancer, they do a blood test which is called PSA, which is a prostate specific antigen. It has a normal range. If it is elevated, it doesn't mean you have cancer. It could mean so many things. It could be an infection, an inflammation. It could just mean a hypertrophy, or what do you say? Hypertrophy is overgrowth of is enlargement, prostate enlargement. Yeah. But then if you have an enlarged prostate, you still need to be on the surveillance with yearly checks of the PSA, or even 6 monthly. And also your urologist at some point needs to do a biopsy because there's a small chance of that transforming, calcifying, and transforming into something malignant. So these things can be done. And a rectal test. So first, a blood test. If we are above 40, we've listed all those organs that we check. For a male, please add PSA to it, and a rectal exam. That's Mape, you guide me based on your time, because I know you have to go to work.
Yes. Yes, I think, yeah. I just round up on this, then we can, because I want to show a quick video as we conclude the program. So, because every time I have you on the program, we'll continue on health issues, because it's something very important for our people to keep track of and to be aware, to know their numbers. So I really appreciate that you're on this program educating our people. But round up, and then we'll show a quick video, and then we'll conclude.
Okay, so get this added to the set of tests. I think I'll write that out, and so that our people can take them to their doctors. And please print your results, so that if there's something you don't understand, you can reach out to any of the doctors we have. We are there, or anyone in the medical field, to help you. So they have to do the PSA, which is a blood test, and they also need to do a rectal exam. It's a digital rectal examination. The doctor is not very painful, puts Vaseline on the glove, and checks from the anus, and feels the prostate. From the texture, from the consistency, you can tell whether it is more benign or it is malignant. But at the end of the day, the diagnosis will only come from a biopsy. So if there's suspicion that this may be cancer, then they need to take a biopsy, and then it will be analyzed, and there's treatment. So now the other male predominant cancer is testicular cancer, which is common in young males generally. So again, know your bodies, test yourself, check your scrotum, stand in front of the mirror, look at how it looks. They are never of the same level, but just know what you look like, so that when something looks unusual, or you have a swelling or kind of something feeling nodular, please, it's better to get checked. Don't be shy, earlier than later. Now, one thing we always ignore is our mental health. Please, that is absolutely important, especially for those of us out here, everywhere, to be honest. For our people back home dealing with the war and the effects. God help us, where you can get some help, but just talk with one another, just reaching out, airing is already sharing your grief is already solving it halfway. But for us out here, please make sure you get screened for depression. That is also part of the job of your GP. There's nothing to be shy about. Depression is real, and it is an illness. You don't have to think that your body has to be down before it means you're sick. The mind actually controls to an extent the body. So someone who is severely depressed is incapacitated. It's not can be, is incapacitated and cannot even function. So please, when you go for your checks, please tell them, I want to do a depression screening. Because we're dealing with a lot, the war itself, and the traumas that go with it, these pictures we see, and losing. Even now that we're grieving, I would advise that people who can have counseling, please do not hesitate. Go for it, and don't say, I am strong, I am this. We all, as human beings, we have the same vulnerabilities. So on that note, I think I'll stop for now. But I promise, I think when I thought about these two great pictures, I said, how can I really mourn them? I said, the only way is that I will commit to educating Ambazonians on their health as much as I can, I know there's a lot out there, but that's the only thing that I thought would bring me some gratitude and closure. Thank you,
Thank you so much, Dr. Yaya. I know there's so much information out there on health screening for people to be aware of. So as I said, you will be coming back on this program every now and then to educate our people. We're going to conclude the program. There's a video that I would like to be played. The purpose of this video is to let our people understand that these two great heroes that we've lost, had a vision, and that vision is also shared with the person that's going to be speaking on this video, and the message is for our young people and those who are just in the periphery, just saying that one thing, and for every Southern Cameroonian to put our hands together and fight harder so that this dream of ours that we lived before as a people gets realized. So if we can see that short video, and then we can talk quickly about it, and then we'll end the program. Thank you so much.
Not gone. You should make it. The president of this country better wake up to the real fact. This country was united by permission. It was not one indivisible. It was united by the will of the people of the Southern Cameroon, not by the will of any other person.
What about the youths championing the cause?
The future is theirs. I'm 77. Mine is gone. I may die tomorrow. If they don't fight, our fathers will come from the graves to fight for them. They have the right to fight for it. They better fight, man. They better bloody fight. No liberty is gained by lying down and allowing people to walk on you.
And the students held back at home?
Let them lose 1 year of school and get a better future. What are you talking about? Let them lose 2 years and get a better future.
What then happens to the future?
Okay, so I thought that this video was important for several reasons. And it's coming at this time when we've lost two people in our journey. And the message really, for me, Dr. Ya, maybe I should ask you to say a word. What do you think when you hear this video? Then I will say what I want to say as we conclude. Please, what inspires you on this?
It's great. I mean, to hear that coming from Amuna, I think that's one of them that I highly revere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Late Pastor Ben Muna. He says the facts. I mean, he grew in the truth. His father was one of the main political figures in a time, unfortunately, used by the system to fight against our cause, and partly contributing to where we are today. So anyway, history is history. And he stood as an individual and made his own analysis, and that is correct. Our freedom is not, we should not make this fight dependent on what anybody thinks or says. The question is it a just cause? The question is yes. Historically, is our story right? Yes. Are we on the side of truth? Yes. So for those reasons, and have you actually experienced being treated as a second-class citizen? Yes, yes, yes. That's enough for me to fight till I gain this freedom. And it doesn't matter what La République is telling me. It's not a question about being comfortable. In fact, freedom fighters never fought for themselves. They fought for something bigger than them. So we're just trying to, the youth should take this message and run with it. We have people who are trying to sabotage the cause by saying, "Oh, you have caused schools not to go on." That's a twisted narrative. We didn't cause school not to go on. Mr. Biya, we actually asked for justice, and Mr. Biya brought his military to kill our people. And how do children safely study in a war zone? How do students safely go to school when stray bullets can hit them anytime? And we've seen many of our kids actually being molested, killed by La République military. So this history, for the younger generations who did not maybe get the remnants of this post so-called unification period, please, it is all written down. It is the facts are there. Go to the United Nations. They have all those history. It is all on the internet. So it's not a matter of being comfortable, because if we all want to be comfortable, the easier thing is to just say, oh, let's just manage. It's like somebody really being in an abusive relationship. I'm talking about an abusive relationship. I'm not saying that there's any relationship in this world that is perfect, but when you have been you are being perpetually treated as a second-class citizen in a partnership which you freely entered, remember, freely joined, we freely joined, so we can freely leave. And we were there for 50 odd years because we kept hoping for the better. We kept hoping that someone is going to come to the senses and say, no, we're not treating these people fairly. Let us be right. But we've been treated like carpets. We've been treated like underdogs. And it is time that we say goodbye. We have tried our best. It hasn't worked. Let us go our separate ways and be good neighbors. So, youth of Amazonia, it is painful. Who is saying that this is an easy ride? It is not. But hey, what is easy? It is better to fight now and have, should I say, eternal freedom, a freedom that your generations upon generations will benefit from, the kind of freedom that your child, even you, a villager who is not a billionaire, their child has equal opportunities to become the president of that country, not the type of nonsense we see in the Republic where a democracy has been turned into an aristocracy where a president wants to hands over power, whatever, to his son or people of his lineage. So please stop thinking about yourself. It may lead to your death, and so be it. It led to well, I shouldn't say it led to VP's death, but these people died for the cause. And it is a good thing. It's an honorable thing to die fighting for your freedom and the freedom even of the unborn, than to live in hypocrisy, to live in corruption, to live in injustice, just because you want to be comfortable, just because you want to have a good name, that you are not rebellious. Why is the word rebellious, first of all, existent? Because you have to rebel against something. We are rebelling because we need our freedom. So it is a good rebellion. When people ask me, or some people talk about paying tithes and this, good. I'm not challenging anybody's faith. I tell them my tithes is Ambazonia, and I believe that Ambazonia is church for me, because God, even Jesus, came for the underdogs. So Ambazonia is the underdog for those who preach the gospel and say all these things, and yet you stay away from fighting for the vulnerable because you are well off, because you live abroad or you live in the riches, and you've suddenly forgotten about those in the trenches, and yet you go to church and you're the one with the loudest voice. Tell me, is this not confusion? So you fight for your freedom. One day it shall come to pass. Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I think you've already given my closing remarks. I don't have any more to say, but there's a caller on the line.
Okay.
There's a caller on the line that wants to say something.
Okay.
Are you there, caller?
For your freedom, one day it shall come to pass. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh my goodness. I think you've already given my closing remarks. I don't have any more to say, but there's a caller on the line.
Okay.
There's a caller on the line that wants to say something.
Honorable, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. You're on. You're on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you. Go ahead. There's somebody else trying to call. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Yes, I am here. Can you?
Go ahead.
You're on. Okay. All right. Yes, Yes, I can hear you. I want to encourage. Thank you, Dr. Yaya, for everything that you do. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mape, for everything that you do for the Ambazonian people. Yeah, we thank. Yes, okay. We appreciate.
Go ahead, please. I'm not sure.
I want to encourage the Ambazonian people today and know that we all have our calendars from the time we're born up to today. VP had his, Ma Emma had hers, and today we are here to encourage each Ambazonian that your calendar will come to an end one day. But you have to do your work. Mr. VP did his work, Ma Emma did her work. And I believe that we are still alive here because we have work to do. And so I believe that Amazonia is free already. That's why we fight. We are not fighting to be free. We are free already. That's why we fight to defend our freedom. And so whether those who want to fight or those who don't want to fight, it doesn't matter. You just get out of the way and let Amazonia be free. Because Mr. Bia told us that he was going to defeat us in 3 weeks. But we are 8 years going right now. And I believe that the reason for this is that Ambazonia has won the battle already. And because Ambazonia has won the battle already, we have to keep going. We cannot leave what we have done already. And so I believe that at this point in time, if you don't want to fight, just get out of the way. Don't disturb those who want to fight. Because this fight is not about us. God is in the forefront of this fight. And Cameroon, France put together cannot defeat Ambazonia. We have defeated Cameroon already. So I'm begging our people right now, be strong, stay courageous, and remain vibrant in what you do. You are free. That's why you fight. Cameroonians are not free, so they cannot fight. So let us hold this in mind that we have the victory already, and there is no way Ambazonia will not be free. Those colonial SBOs and DOs and governors will leave Ambazonia, whether in peace or in pieces, however they want to live, they will live. They cannot fight the God of Ambazonia. We want to thank the VP for his service. We thank Ma Emma for his service. But now is our time to serve Ambazonia. So it doesn't matter. So we love Ambazonia. Ambazonia is free already. That's why we fight to defend our freedom.
Thank you.
All the heroes who have gone ahead of us, stay there, keep pushing us, keep encouraging us, keep cheering us. And I believe that one day, Amazonia will manifest in the physical.
Amen.
And we will no longer call it government in exile, but government in Boya.
Amen.
And so therefore, we love the called Amazonia. So be strong and stay courageous.
Thank you so much, Honorable Caroline. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me get the next caller. Thank you. I have another caller on the phone. She's still talking. Let me get the next caller on the phone. Thank you so much. Okay. There's another caller on the phone. Caller, please make it brief because we have to end the show. I'm already going late to work today. All right, you're on. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You're on the call. This is Masera, the SOS for Resource Mobilization.
Wow.
You're on.
Okay, Ma. I really appreciate. Okay. Sorry, Ma. I really appreciate and thank.
No.
We're losing you. What happened?
No, okay. I really appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity to talk. Usually I follow you show when I'm back and at work. So when I come home, that's what puts me to sleep. I watch it, but today I'm happy. Ma, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well.
So I just want all what you guys have said. I mean, there's nothing else to say. And I will just be brief. I'm so happy and excited that I met these two fallen heroes in person in Washington, D.C. last year. That's what really consoles me. That's what really comforts me, because I put the faces and their words. And that's what is giving me the strength and the energy. So, my Emma, I mean, she was like all what Dr. Yaya said. She was just full of life, fun. He talks sometimes like, you know how the high school girls, they talk and laugh. She was one of those. That young energy was still in her. So for that, that is all I will always hold with me. She gave me a nickname, Money Eye, and I mean, that is all I will always remember for Ma Emma. Ma Emma, she was something, she called me, oh, Masera, you know, you have received, thank you, because she was the only one that appreciates when you send a dime and send her the receipt, she will acknowledge it. I said it a million times. I said, ABC, you know, without Ma Emma, I mean, she acknowledges everything, big or small. She was there.
Yeah.
So anyway, for that, Ma Emma will always be in our hearts. For VP, VP, you all know, he was my mentor. He was my pillar. I did not know him until I got into this position that he encouraged me. I went into this position. I did not believe in myself. It was VP. It was VP that motivated and told me, Masera, you can do it. You can do it. You can do things that way. It doesn't have to be the previous person's way. And that is what I have on.
Yeah.
And that is what keeps me going. The last what I heard from him, it was Friday before he passed away. I think it was Tuesday. He called me. Usually, I've been in that position. I'm a survivor myself, because we know how this thing, you have to click with somebody that have been in your shoes to communicate with. So he opened up to me. And once I see his call, I pick it up right away because he wants to talk. So you will always be there to listen. Unfortunately, Friday, when he called me, I was in the dentist office. I couldn't talk. I missed his call. When I came out, I sent him a message. I said, VP, I'm just from a procedure they did in my mouth. I can't talk. I'm bleeding. I will call you tomorrow. Saturday, we talked. He told me, Masera, I just spoke with the president, you know, and of course he opened up. And we talked. And we talked. And the last words he said, Masera, well, you know, whatever happens to me, support the president and don't give up. Usual. Those were always his concluding, you know, message to me. So for my Emma, BP, you know, they gave us something to hold on. Don't give up.
Thank you so much.
I will never give up.
Thank you so much, Masera. Thank you so much. We're closing the program now, so I appreciate you calling in, okay? Ambazonians have heard. They will not give up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. There's a FACO draft tomorrow, right? But I need to end the program now. I want to just comment on that video that we saw, and my message is really for the youth. I recently heard an interview yesterday that had to do with this young journalist, and they're talking about changes that is coming in La République du Cameroon, and they are going around advising young people to register in our area, people that live in Bamenda, they live in Victoria. I don't call it Limbe. They live in Victoria, Boya, in what you guys call Northwest, Southwest, what we call the Southern and Northern Zone. They're encouraging our young people to register to go vote. The message that I played, the video that we just played, that had late lawyer Ben Muna advising the young people to fight. Those are two messages. You don't fight by voting. You don't fight by voting because you're in a system where your votes mean nothing. Your votes mean nothing. So if you're living in our region, our territory, Southern Cameroons, Boya, Victoria, and even if you're living in La République de Cameroon, but you are a Southern Cameroonian, please do not participate in the charade of this election that is coming up in 3 months from now, October, sometime in October, because your voices make no difference. France is in charge of La République de Cameroon. We Southern Cameroons, Ambazonians, and we are in charge of Ambazonia. Let's find a way to come back home and build our own land where your voices will count. This message is coming now because we've lost two great people. We don't want them to go in vain. We want to remember them someday in Boya, because if we don't have a Boya, we will not be able to remember them in the sense of the national emblem. So my take-home message, my last message to you guys, as we honor the Vice President, as we honor Ma Emma, is that please forget about whatever is happening in La République Cameroon. Forget about elections. Join us. Be young people motivated to grow Ambazonia to make it a nation where you will be proud of. You will have opportunities. You will be free, and not the charade that is called La République du Cameroon. I'm not going to give you a chance to talk. You want to just say one word because we really have to close. But this was my closing comment.
Thank you. Thank you. Be strong. There's a song that the fallen soldier or the soldier sing. Soldier fall, soldier woke up, they continue the fight. So yes, we will talk about our beloved forever. But we need to honor them by making sure we finish this fight. Let's not draw it out. Let us be out tomorrow at the draft and tell Ma Emma and VP Eric Ateh that we love them and that we are still committed until we reach Boya. It's just that for time we would have sang the song until we reach Boya. So please come out in your numbers. Draft. Ma Emma stems from Fako. The VP was also born in Victoria and he's a member of the Victoria LGA. So in honor of these two people, come out, draft, send your receipts, send them to Marcera, send them to Chairman Mola Jimmy, and let us in our morning still be patriots and stay focused because Boya is our destination. Thank you all.
Amen, amen. So I want to thank you all for being on the horizon, the voice of the Amba woman today. And we look forward to having another great show next week. And we remember these fallen heroes, Ma Emma and the VP, by continuing this journey, drafting, and supporting the leadership of our journey, President Sako, whose vision is to take us to Boya. Thank you so much for being on the horizon, the voice of the Amba woman. Till next week. Thank you.